Good evening and welcome to Poland Daily. I'm Konrad Gorlinski, and this is the news. Well, a Congress of European conservative and right-wing parties took place today in Madrid, at which Poland was represented by Prime Minister Mateusz Morawiecki. The assembly was hosted by Santiago Abascal, the leader of the Spanish Vox party.
The conference was held under the slogan, Defend Europe. The attendees included Polish Prime Minister Mateusz Morawiecki, Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orbán, head of the French National Union Marine Le Pen, as well as politicians from Austria, Belgium, Estonia, Romania, and Lithuania. The meeting was a continuation of the summit of the conservative parties in Warsaw at the beginning of December 2021. The objectives of the meeting were to strengthen cooperation between European conservative parties to defend the sovereignty of states within the European community. We have shown that there is a different future for Europe, that there is a future that rests on sovereign states, not on any centralized structure that takes away powers from states. The main topics discussed during the summit were Europe's energy problems, the demographic crisis, and European industry after the COVID-19 pandemic. At the same time, we showed each other that we think about such important issues in almost the same way, such important challenges as the threats that Russia has in relation to Ukraine, such as migratory pressures, energy issues with very high gas prices, which today are the result of manipulation on the part of Russia. In an interview with Prime Minister Morawiecki, Santiago Abascal, the leader of the Vox party, assured that his party would support Poland in protecting the nation's borders against the influx of illegal migrants from Belarus. The talks in Madrid took place in the context of the international crisis around Ukraine, as well as defense issues in the context of the Russian threat. The obstacle to the cooperation of the conservative forces of Europe was precisely the approach of these forces to Russia. So if this approach is more similar than before, and there are many indications of this, then this cooperation will be much easier. With the direction that the European Union has taken, or rather today's elites, today's authorities, such cooperation seems even necessary. Attacking sovereign nations threatens the EU. Abascal wrote on Twitter on Friday, "Patriotic unity is essential to face the enemies of our civilization." Abascal's party, in its agenda for Spain, which stands in opposition to the 2030 agenda adopted by the United Nations, has advocated building Europe at the service of the member states and citizens, not the service of the elite. Vox called for a new European treaty, restoring subjectivity to member states in the face of a European Commission bureaucracy that nobody chooses and nobody can control.
Following a series of joint talks concerning his country, President Volodymyr Zelensky held a press conference to calm down the Western media. He nevertheless continues to request assistance from his Western allies.
During a press conference held in Kiev, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky spoke out against the recent media rush and eye-catching headlines. It was a response to the media storm surrounding Ukraine. I think, and I talked about this with the president, that the politics should be balanced. I'm not saying that he has influence on the media. They are free, but the politics have to be balanced. Are tanks driving here on our streets? No, but it feels like this. If you're not here, then you feel like this. Additionally, the Ukrainian president spoke out on the topic of U.S. diplomats being called to leave Ukraine due to safety reasons. I'm telling you honestly, in Mariupol are representatives of the Greek diplomacy. Even in Mariupol, where the contact line is, where you can hear the shots, the Greeks didn't evacuate anyone. President Zelensky has also mentioned the case of Germany not willing to send military aid to Ukraine, instead providing the country with 5,000 helmets. According to the president, German help would be highly appreciated, yet it seems like the Nord Stream 2 pipeline is more important for Berlin. It's a serious signal. It's a serious challenge. I don't wish for Germany. I don't wish for the German people that you feel the same as we do, that you will ever feel this at the borders of your own country. As Russian forces amass on the border, Ukrainians are trying to live their normal lives and not bend under the pressure exerted by the Kremlin.
And Denmark has sent 4 F-16 fighter jets to Lithuania as part of a mission aimed at strengthening NATO's troop presence in the Baltic states and Poland amidst the ongoing tensions with Russia.
Lithuanian President Gitanas Nausėda held a welcoming ceremony for F-16 fighter jets transported to the country. The Lithuanian head of state thanked his allies for the support.
I welcome very much the decision of the Danish parliament to increase military and air force deployment in Lithuania with 4 F-16 fighter jets, jet fighters, and 80 soldiers of personnel. This decision is very timely, and it's very important, having in mind what is surrounding us and what situation is along the border with Ukraine.
Fighter jets have been delivered to the region to strengthen the so-called NATO's enhanced forward presence, a mission led by Germany aimed at securing NATO's eastern flank. President Nausėda also stated that Vilnius and Berlin currently discuss possible increase of German forces in the region.
Now we're talking about a possibility to increase the German and EFP forces in Lithuania, as we need to strengthen the eastern flank of NATO in the light of the current events.
NATO's enhanced forward presence battalion battle groups have been deployed in the Baltic states and Poland since the 2016 Warsaw Summit to deter Russia.
And finally, in Canada, truckers from around the country are converging on Ottawa in the largest convoy ever recorded. The convoy from the West Coast alone is estimated to be almost 70 kilometers long. The aim of the truckers is to protest mandates that would essentially render them, as well as countless other Canadians, unemployable.
Canadian truckers are on their last leg of their convoy to the capital city of Ottawa. It comes after the government of Justin Trudeau issued a new set of rules for cross-border trucking. Anyone wishing to keep their employment is now obliged to provide a vaccine certificate. Otherwise, no entry or departure from Canada will be possible. The protest attracted a number of supporters from across the country who cheered them along on their route. The convoy has already raised $7 million in support. It also attracted thousands of truckers from the U.S. who are also on their way to join them.
To try to get this country back, it's not just for the truckers, but we support them, but it's for the entire country. It's actually for the entire world. If you want to make some decisions and do things on your own, then that's fine. But if people don't want to, then we should have the choice to choose. And freedom.
Well, I'm here because I'm already free, and all these people are free, and we're all coming together. Because right now, this is a time for coming together and not being standing apart, and not being torn apart, not losing our jobs, not losing our families, coming together and being free together.
Truckers from across the country plan to converge in the capital city. Some have already arrived in Ottawa, and they intend to block the entire city until the Canadian government lifts all their health mandates. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has gone on leave, citing the need to quarantine, as he suspects he may have been in contact with someone with the coronavirus.
Thanks for tuning in this evening. Please stay with us for Poland Daily Weather, Poland Daily Business, and other programs. But from me, let's have a wonderful Saturday night.